Okay, so now we're in part 4, where we're going to clean up the topology, especially in the areas where we just did the boolean, because that can create some pieces that don't connect and some end-sided polygons that we don't want. So let's tumble around. Actually, we're going to tumble around in here, and in this case here, I think just this overall shape will have a bit of cleanliness if we were to connect from there to there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Tab, PolySplit, and we're going to go and connect from here to here and press enter. And you see how that connects it, but it also goes nicely in between there. So that creates a better result in that regard. There we go. So the next thing we want to do is we want to come over here and look at this area here. And especially the fact that this topology hits here, we get an end-sided polygon here, so we really need to take this over the top. So we're going to press Q to do another PolySplit, and we're going to go up, and let's, just do a snapping. Let's one more. No. Okay, there isn't really so let's not use the snapping, and let's go up, up. Up, up, and then snap. And similarly, we're going to take this up. We're going to take this up and over the geometry. And let's do that again. Oh, we're back in the tool. Oh no, and it's done. Okay, there we go. We got the PolySplit there. Whew, kicked back into gear. So we've got the nice topology going up and over there, so that's good. Now the next thing we want to do is we've got these pieces coming down. Now we don't really need those, so we're going to press 3. And we're going to select this, 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 and this, and press delete. And what that does is that dissolves it. We've now got a 4-sided polygon there and there and there and there, and that's much better. And what that puts down is what's called a dissolve node, and a dissolve node just removes that topology from things. Now we're going to go into the PolyDraw, and we're going to start taking advantage of some of the tools we've used before. So we're going to go into split mode, and we're going to, let's split there, and let's split here. Now they're a little different because of the way they're shaped, but that sort of gives us those connections there. So now if we go down to this section here, we notice there's sort of an end-sided polygon here. So we're going to connect this to this, middle click, this to this, middle click, and then we're going to click from here to there. And then if we want, it's not really necessary, but if we want to slide the point, click the point and drag that sort of perpendicular there, and we just does that, so it's got a bit of a half loop going around there, and there we go. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to, instead of having these lines that came from before, we really need the lines that line up with this. So what we're going to do is go back into build mode, and we're going to select all of this. And we're selecting these because we're going to, just like we did with the dissolve earlier, we can get rid of topology like that right here in the PolyDraw tool. So we can go to here, go to there, go to there, and just press the delete key, and we've essentially dissolved that. But instead of it creating a dissolved node, all of that is done inside the PolyDraw tool. So now that we have that, we can go back to the split tool, and we can begin to do this, and then we can go to here, and then we can go to there, middle click, and then we can do the same thing here, there, and all the way up to there. Middle click, and we'll do it from here. We might want to, yeah, that lines up better. So as you see, when we're doing this, we don't have to click everywhere, but we just have to click enough to get that around there. And that's good. And oh, I think we have one more. Just to middle click, connect all of those pieces together. We'll sort out that part in a bit. Now the other thing we can do is we can go to the build node, and we can notice that this is sort of a bit awkward. So one of the things we can do is drag that up to there, and it'll get merged together. Similarly, we can do this. We can click that up and get that gets merged together. And there we go. And then it probably would help to have another split here. So let's just go from there. 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 Oh. Oh. Control Z, Control Z. Just got to keep a little eye on that. We clicked the wrong thing on the wrong side, but we can undo, and then we click there to there, middle click. So now we've cleaned up a lot of those areas in there, which is great. And we probably want to add some horizontal versions of these as well. So from there, oh, that's going to go to the lower one, middle click, and then we're going to go from there to there to there, and that will click to there. There we go. So that gives us a bit of cleanup in that geometry, which is important. Now the next thing we want to look at a little bit is inside here, inside this shape here. So this is a little messy. So the first thing we're going to do is let's just connect those two, and middle click and connect those two. And then we can connect across from here, middle click. Then we're going to get the build node, and we're going to say, well, you know what? Let's delete. We don't really need these parts. We're going to have to get in there to get the face. Delete, and let's just do a bit of a split in here. Let's go from there to there, and that will allow us to go in and get rid of some of these pieces because they weren't giving us a flat result. Then we can, we can push this into there and this into there, and then we can go just to clean this up. We're going to go from there to there, there to there, and let's just do that for now, and then let's take that point and drag that up to there. So similarly, I think we can do this with 3 okay, well, we'll just do this. Okay, that'll go there. It's actually, we'll fix that in a second. This goes to here, and this goes to here. And what it seems to be is that we don't actually need these 3 lines here. So we can select this line, and this line, and delete to dissolve that. So we've created a slightly better situation there. there's a little bit of an end-sided polygon in there, but that's in a flat part of this that I don't think is going to hurt us. And then similarly, we could do some cleanup in here. So let's just delete that. And in these cases, it's probably better to do a little bit of poly splitting in these little areas here. Middle click, there, middle click. And then that will allow us to go in and delete, middle click. Okay, we got to zoom in a little bit more to find this. Delete. Oh. Tumble around. We just had to undo that and delete. And once we've got that, we can snap that part back to there. And similarly, that part goes back to there so that that's clean. Now, if we can also get rid of points. So if there's a point that's sort of an extra point in the middle there. So we're going to get rid of these points. And then that will allow us to, and let's just take that point and delete that point. And that point, we'll delete that as well. So what this does, so what we can do now is we can take this edge and do this. We can go from there to there, and we can go from there to there. Perfect. Middle click. So that flattens that out. Similarly, we can take this, we can do it like this, snap there. So we're clicking and dragging to snap it there. And then we find out that there's a little bit of messiness in here, but that can be cleaned up by is there another piece? Oh, there's an extra piece of polygon in there. That's part of that polygon. Okay. And middle click. And if we get in here, we find out that there's this, and we can snap that to close that off. So that's not ideal, but again, it's in the flat area of here. So what we probably would do is, let's get rid of that point and that edge. There we go. That's a little cleaner. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely a much cleaner situation in there than it was after the Boolean. So once we have all of that done, we are going to tab, and we're going to put a group node down. And we're going to place that here. And we're going to call this crease name. Crease edges. Okay. We're going to make it an edges list, and we're going to turn off the base group, and we're going to turn on by edges, and we're going to turn on these two angles here, and we're going to set them to 55 and 180. And what you see is that mostly the flat edges connecting things have been selected. So that's very helpful. And those are areas where we would want some creasing. So we're not getting the other areas, we're only getting those areas there. So that's great. So if we right mouse button on this, and we're going to put a crease node down. We used crease earlier. when we were doing the cylinder, so we know what that is. We're going to set this to 10, and we're going to set this to crease edges. So that will make sure that all of those things are sharp. And if we go into here and we go Shift plus, we're going to see how that model's turning out. And let's change this back to smooth shaded so we can get a sense of it. And there we go. So we've got a much cleaner sort of model of all of this. Everything's sort of doing its job the way that we want. And this is looking pretty good as the topology that we want to move forward with. So we'll sort of let this sort of exist the way that it does right now. Just we won't worry about collapsing things at the moment. Because we're going to do a little bit more work on this later. We're actually going to build on this as we do things like the barrel of the gun, etc., etc. So, thanks.